Hey, this is Brandon Crawford from the San Francisco Giants, and you're listening to TortureCast.
You're listening to a podcast by and for fans of the San Francisco Giants. With hosts Willie Dills, Chad King, Ben Lee, and Eric Nathanson. Dedicated to the greatest team in Major League Baseball, the San Francisco Giants. This is TortureCast. Standing on time, not gonna stop. We came to play. Ain't slowing down. We're here to stay. And we're stomping on whatever's in our way. I'm feeling like a Giant tonight.
Welcome to the TortureCast, the podcast by and for fans of the San Francisco Giants. This is episode 100, actually probably 145, but we're just calling it 100. Oh, I like the fireworks, guys. So yeah, we've been waiting for this for a long time, and we decided to go ahead and correspond this nice even number, which we're totally not lying about, with our season preview for 2016. We totally didn't
conveniently have a couple of bonus odes in the way, and...
No, not at all. We don't have like 150 actual audio recordings on the internet, but it's okay. This is our official episode 100. I'm your host, Chad, and tonight joining me is one Eric Nathanson. Eric, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Baseball starts tomorrow. We get to see the Giants again.
That's right. Well, the Giants start tomorrow.
Better.
We did have three, very boring games today, and we also have with us tonight one Ben. Ben, how you doing?
Hey, glad I could make it in. I have a couple of things going on tonight relating to some of the stuff that I've been up to outside of this podcast in the off season. But I am super juiced to be here, and I'm really glad that baseball is coming back because it's about damn time.
It is. I mean, just every year, even after the Giants win or they don't win, this is an odd year, so it's okay. We had a longer off season to think about things, not talk too much, on this podcast. But every time it comes around to, April, it just, I don't know, it's just rejuvenating. It really is. There's something about this time of the year for us baseball fans. It's not like this with hockey. What? I don't even know what hockey is. Football, basketball. It's like, oh, the season start. I didn't even realize that. It is literally something I put on my calendar and I look forward to. I take the day off of work. I barbecue hot dogs. I mow the lawn. I put out the flag. It really is something that's, a little bit of a rite of passage for me.
I'll be at work tomorrow, so
I actually did nail up a flag today. I bolted in the base in our garage entry and put the Giants flag in there and ready to go. So and tomorrow we got hot dogs and burgers, flying. Today was a bunch of yard work and mowed the lawn while the Pirates and Cardinals were playing. I mean, it really was. It was just getting right back into summer.
Is there like bunting hanging from your house too? I mean, this sounds like a place I want to be on opening day.
Almost, not quite. a few beverages imbibed, but no bunting, unfortunately. But yeah, it's I love this time of year, guys. And and every team starts fresh. Every team says this is our year. Every team is no games back from first place. And so it's just a lot of fun. It's just a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to think about what the Giants might do this year, especially with the incredible offseason they had this year. Eric and I have talked about that in our last episode, but they reloaded their pitching staff. They have a great infield. They added Span to the outfield. Everything's looking up for the Giants right now. They're heading into the season without too many injuries, aside from maybe an Andrew Susac, which is probably not going to make the difference between a first or second place. So everything's looking really good right now. So I don't know. What are your thoughts on this time of the year?
I mean, let's not pretend that the other teams haven't tried to improve themselves too. Like, obviously that's going to be a thing. So, but at the same time, like, I feel good about this team considering that, after last year, it was kind of painful to watch it sometimes, even though like it's a team that we still love and they were the reigning champs and all that. But I'm excited to get back some of that magic of being at AT&T and getting to like listen to the crowds chant, especially when they're really excited about like getting to watch this team play and just really excited about having the chance to compete. And that sounds, I mean, that was probably one of the worst explanations I've got for the beginning of this season, to be honest. Like,
it's
I just miss baseball,
season.
Okay? I just want baseball back.
It's just baseball,
It
man.
feels great about baseball. I just want it back. I'm trying to be like objective and have like good things to say about it, but I just want baseball. Is that so wrong?
No, nothing wrong about that. Eric, what
it was
about
so
you?
nice. It was so nice having games on in the background today. Like, I can weave in and out. I can, have the game on, go do something, come back. It's 3 innings later and be like, oh, look at that. The Pirates are still ahead. Not even care about the game. It's just so nice to have. It makes it feel like summer's back, and like the rhythms of the seasons just feel right again now that baseball's back and it's opening day. Regardless if the Giants have as good of a team as they do, as I think they do, as I think we all think they do heading into this year, or if they just, were as crappy as the Phillies are. I think opening day, we'd all still be excited about it no matter what.
Yeah, it was actually really weird being out I went out for brunch today. It was very nice. I had a mouth. It was lovely. But it was really weird walking by a bar and looking up and seeing baseball happening in a stadium that wasn't in Arizona or Florida. Being like, oh yeah, that's a thing that happens. I almost forgot.
They didn't have the AZ or FL patch, and I actually
those were horrible.
And no one was numbered 92 or 85. I mean, no, it was
unless
really
they really
nice.
wanted to be.
Yeah,
Manny Ramirez was not on the field, number 99.
Barry Zito, those kind of guys. No, it was really nice to see players that I actually recognized in the 7th inning of the Pirates-Cardinals game, because it actually meant something. And there's just something to that where you don't just cast it aside. You're like, wow, this is this is where it is.
Well, there's so much of spring training. You look at it and you're like, this is exciting, or this gives me a good sign, or this is but like it doesn't matter. And all of a sudden you're like, oh right, it actually matters whether or not the Cardinals win this game, for 1/162nd of their playoff chances. Like, oh, I'm gonna have to get back in that frame of mind again.
I know.
It's a fun adjustment. It's an adjustment I enjoy making every year, but it is weird.
Well, I don't know. For me, every year, some years, I think it depends on what's going on, and this is just a general life thing for people. I think it depends on what you have going on in your life, because this season, kind of just came up out of nowhere on me.
Yeah. Do you feel like you paid less attention because we weren't World Series champions or coming off of playoffs this time?
Yeah.
Because I feel like that a little bit.
Yeah, other times I'm paying so much more attention, who's reporting to camp. Oh, my God, this guy got sent down to minor league camp. And this year I kind of was like, oh, okay, that guy's still around. I didn't tune in until later on to really see how refined the team looked.
Yeah. No, but
yeah, I feel like I really could have done a much better job keeping track of how things were going this spring. But
so how jaded are we as Giants fans because of the 3 and 5?
God.
And watching the Royals tonight against the Mets on ESPN, to see them with the World Series champion patch and the gold lettering and the gold
that's
cap.
Nice for you guys. And
it was just kind of like, oh, wait a minute. It's like, did you raid our lockers and steal Hunter Pence's scooter? Which, by the way, it was stolen again today.
Damn it. Oh, that's right. I saw that post.
Yeah. But I mean, it's like, it didn't look right. It just didn't look right. So
Yeah,
that just got me really stoked for this podcast tonight, because I was like, no. We cannot have another team wearing the gold lettering come opening day 2017. It just can't happen. It just can't happen.
It just can't. We are far too full of ourselves for that.
Yeah.
Sir.
We are too arrogant. Sir,
Absolutely.
I challenge you to a duel.
Wait.
Yes.
I mean, that begs the question, and I mean, it's going to be talked about
Smack him
all
with a
year.
baseball glove across the face.
Oh, I can
Slap.
see that. But if you touch him
Sir.
if you touch him with the threads that are hanging off the glove, it's no longer considered a tag. You have to fully slap him. I swear to God, it's a new rule.
Oh my God.
You cannot tag the guy by the laces hanging off your glove anymore. You have
Eric
to
bringing
graze
in the new.
him.
Yeah, the new. We won't even get to the slide rule here at second base, but oh my God.
Oh my gosh.
That's fine.
I have not done a good job of keeping up with that stuff.
Yeah, no, there's like a 5-sentence explanation on the new slide rule. You have to be able to
I'm sure I'll pick it up.
make contact with the ground before the base. You have to be able to hold on to the base. You have to not put up your
Yeah,
spikes.
your seatbelt has to be on.
Yeah,
Your right turn signal has to show that you're coming in hot.
Can't make an angry face at them. I mean, it's just like, wow, okay.
No calling them names.
Yeah, apparently.
No sliding left.
They slide in with a bubble bag and an airbag. It's like whatever. But all right, so Eric, I think you wrote this here to launch off the episode, which I think is a great question. Why don't you go ahead and ask it?
All right, this is episode 100. It's a celebration. We've been around for a little bit. You like us, people, apparently. You really like us.
All five
I don't know
of
what
you.
I did to deserve it. I'm pretty sure it's all Chad.
He's the engine that makes the show go. So it makes you wonder. I was thinking about this. 100
Fueled by
episodes.
alcohol.
Yeah, right. That's the lubricant that runs everything.
That's the oil that makes the engine go.
Yeah,
absolutely. I was wondering, Ben, Chad, what your favorite episode of the TortureCast has been, and what the coolest thing you've gotten to do because of TortureCast. Either not just covering a game, maybe covering a media day, just anything like that. But it's been a long time. Ben, you've been around a long time. Chad, you mentioned what number you started on earlier. What's your favorite episode ever of the TortureCast?
Yeah, I would say episode 77. And that was after the 2014 World Series championship. I don't know. I mean, it was our longest episode ever,
I wonder why.
I know. Well, because, Ben and you and I were there for 2012 as well to record that one. But 2014 it's more recent memory, but it was, the third in 5 years, and it was a 2.5-hour podcast. And I don't know what it was, but we were all high and giddy, and I just was. It was something that stuck in my mind. I didn't even care how long we were going.
High on winning, mind you.
No, it was completely high on winning.
It was a good time. It was definitely a good time.
But that's one of the few podcasts that I've actually gone back and listened to. I actually listened to it several times because I liked it so much. So, that's the most memorable podcast for me so far.
What about you, Ben?
What's funny is the best thing for me about doing this show has really been getting to meet the people that also meet people that also love the Giants, and getting to chat with them and get to do little when we get together. So for me, my favorite has actually probably either the first or the second time that we all went to Public House to do our season preview.
Yeah.
It's a little harder now that we've got people located in all different places. It's a lot tougher to actually get us all together to be able to record. So it's it's going to be a little bit tougher moving forward. But that part, those two times that we had everybody together around a table, we were just yelling at each other about baseball and mostly disagreeing with Thomas, and or trying to ask Allie and Jen and Jelena questions about just everyone on the team, and some of those are really the favorites for me. And don't get me wrong, it's not like I don't like watching my team win championships.
No,
I freaking love it. But the social part of things tends to be one of my favorite parts of things in general, and this is absolutely true for the show too. My favorite thing has definitely been getting to meet a lot of the people that also like the Giants the same way that I do, people that get to work with and work around the Giants, and just. Those are my favorite episodes. Getting to bring people onto the show and letting them show off what it is that they like about the show so much. That was you too, Eric, before you ended up signing on full time. Mm-hmm. Just getting to be like, hey, you like baseball. I like baseball. We both like teams that are orange and black and aren't the Orioles. Let's go ahead and have a conversation.
Yeah. No, I couldn't agree more, Ben. I mean, you bring up a really good point there. Obviously, meeting you guys, that's a given because we're all on the podcast. Sure. But
it's how you got here and why you're still here. So thanks. Oh, sure.
And I got to say a big thank you to you and to Willie for inviting me onto this podcast back in 2011.
Oh man, it's been long already.
I know.
Back when you used to do out of left field segments for us.
That's exactly right. So I started with the out of left field
segments. I got a lot
segments.
of problems with you people. They were never quite like that. I just really wanted to reimagine them. I'm rewriting history. I apologize.
No, but as a fan of
I like
podcasts in general, and hearing about you guys and starting to listen to you guys, and I was already doing gaming segments and some dabbling in podcasting and sending in those segments to you guys for out of left field, and then having you guys have the invite to me to come onto the podcast. I mean, was just I was so excited at the time. just I had never been on a major podcast before. Okay, well, this isn't major. Let's call it a moderate podcast. But point being, not been invited to be a co-chair on a podcast before.
Aren't we number one on iTunes?
Exactly. But certainly for the team that I care most about and the sport I care most about, it's been incredible. But then meeting all the other people that have been associated with it, like you just mentioned, we got Allie and we got Jen and Chelena and others, and we've had so many bonus sods and season previews with Danny and Thomas and those girls. I mean, it's been so much fun, and I do, I lament a little bit about the fact that we can't do that these days because we're all kind of spread apart.
Yeah.
We've all grown a little bit.
Well, we'll see. Now that it was a change that happened really like not close to us doing this, but sort of like in the off season. And we by nature tend to do a little bit less with planning and coordination in the off season.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll get a chance to actually figure some of that out this year and see who we can move around in order to make some things happen. We may have to just all take a field trip to somewhere.
No, I think it's going to happen this year because we got you and I, Ben, we can meet up whenever. That's not an issue.
Yeah,
it doesn't cost money or at least much money.
Unfair advantage, though. But yes,
but obviously for
Willie,
home
field advantage as well as it should be.
Yes,
for Willie and Eric, it's a little different story. So,
right.
But Eric, you asked what's the coolest thing that we've done since we started this podcast or part of this podcast, and man, there's a lot. There really is a lot. I know we just mentioned covering the games.
Yeah.
Obviously, covering the games is incredible. I mean, the fact that we've been given access by the Giants speaks volumes to their willingness to extend the opportunity of this exposure to basically a grassroots effort. They recognize that. They know specifically we are not a major media outlet. We are not a regular publication.
I think that's one of the surprising things about it, too.
They know this, and they still gave us, this access and still do to this day. That's been probably the most incredible overall kind of experience for this podcast. But if you break it down to a specific event, I would say, covering the media days have been incredible, having that access face-to-face with all these players over the last 4 years, the clubhouse access now. But, I would say, giving Matt Cain a 3-hour personal tour of the Monterey Bay Aquarium is high up there, That was pretty neat because that was not just talking to a player for 5 minutes, or in the dugout or in the clubhouse or in media day. I mean, that was he's with his family, his daughter, his wife, his mother-in-law, and it was 3 hours of just shooting the shit. It really was. I mean, stuff that wasn't recorded, wasn't retweeted. It was just, person to person, talking about family, talking about life, talking about just general stuff you just talk to people about. And I think that was probably my most amazing experience associated with this podcast. That's a result of this podcast because, we just talked about life, just like two guys. And it was just much more relaxing than trying to ask the provocative question. I got to get this on TortureCast. Can we get a cool response for this? Let me record 5 minutes with Buster Posey. No. It was just, just talking.
Chat. Yeah.
It was just chatting.
Yeah.
I don't even remember half the stuff we talked about. It was just the fact that we just talked. And
it was on your turf, which is kind of neat how that turned around.
Yeah, and was able to,
suddenly you're the one who was able to give the guidance and the direction to navigate. It's like somebody visiting you, and so the dynamic feels different. But
no, it's true because instead
great.
of asking him questions about baseball, he was asking me questions about the aquarium and scuba diving and other things. And so, for part of the day, I was actually being interviewed in a sense by Matt Cain. So anyway. That was probably been my best experience so far associated with the podcast.
That's pretty cool. That's one I don't think I don't know I can't top something like that. For me, I was gonna say the first time you guys ever had me on was episode 46. Kirk Reeder, Woody. I wrote an article about growing up as a Giants fan in Chicago. And Willie, I think, emailed me out of the blue one day. And honestly, I'd never listened to the TortureCast. I'd listened to two guys, a glove,
And a Coke bottle.
Yeah, I'd listened to them a few
right.
times, but I hadn't listened to TortureCast yet. And Willie, asked me if I'd be on the show, and I was like, "Oh yeah, absolutely." And then I went and listened, obviously for the first time to you guys for a little bit, and I came on that night, and and it's my favorite show because it was, obviously my introduction and everything like that. But like, I kind of enjoyed the episode where we all were at Z. And it's the same things that both of you guys have been talking about. It's just the meeting of the people and seeing everybody face to face and talking about baseball.
Right,
Chad and I, we talked ball till like the sun came up.
Oh, literally, I went to your hotel room.
Yes,
and I was up until sunrise. Yep. That's when I left your room. No, we just talked ball and life all night long. It was incredible. It was so much fun.
It was that whole trip was one of the, and I came for other reasons, but like that was like my positive vibes, great fun night, and I always attributed that night to being good because of TortureCast, and I wasn't even a part of the show then.
Right.
You guys were looking to get me a press pass, and I ended up securing one on my own for that night.
The one for back in
Tampa,
kind of funny, yeah.
So it was, Well, not just that.
that
one
was
in San Francisco.
Oh, that was the one when you were in San Francisco.
Yeah, Tampa was like a month earlier, and then I got one for that night. You guys were going to get one for me too, and it worked out. And then that night it was just the 2-out hits. It was 2-out hits, everything. It was Pablo came through with a big 2-out hit, and the first question I think came from Amy G talking about the 2-out hits, and we all looked at each other in the interview room, and we're all like, "Oh, what
so many 2-out hits!
Oh my god!" Yeah, it was just
weird
really
how that
funny.
works out, isn't it?
The night. Yeah, and Timmy started the game. Timmy, I have no idea if he's going to pitch ever again. Timmy started the game, and it was him against Francisco Liriano, and the Giants got out early, and I got to see the El Machón dance and everything like that. To me, that was like the coolest stuff that I've gotten to do with it. And knowing that we have access to certain things, and it is humbling to know that the Giants recognize us, and it's kind of nice to think about that. It's really humbling that we put some blood, sweat, and tears into this, a little bit, being at the recording and talking and setting aside days and writing at times and doing different things. And so it's kind of humbling that the Giants have let us, do some of these great things. And I'm really glad Willie stumbled across my blog 3 years ago, because I wouldn't be sitting here right now. So I'm really, those are my favorite things from that. For episode 100.
What about you, Ben?
Because
what's funny is that mine actually isn't even related to baseball. It's the funny thing, because as much as I love baseball and I love doing this podcast, and I do, like, it's been super fun, but one of the most interesting things that this podcast has done for me, besides introducing me to new people and friends and giving me reasons to travel relating to baseball, it's given me a lot of confidence as far as like creating my own work and being able to like have a thing that I do, and like understanding how a lot of this works. It's been one of those things where it's been such a smooth and fun experience that I've learned a lot about how to work and create. One of the things that I've been doing lately is I do now more than one podcast, much like Chad. I had to make my way and earn my way up to Chad's status. It's the thing is I now have a podcast that I do that's called RPOK. It's all about role playing games and about like the way we tell stories and stuff like that. So one of the fun things has been going into that, going like not just how do I do this, but like I've been here, I've done this before, and like feeling that confidence to kind of go out and do something else that I really enjoy. So I mean, that's one of the best things, I think.
It's kind of cool that we've been around for so long. 100 episodes. That's a long time.
Yeah,
it's like
really.
150.
That's something.
You guys, it really is.
Yeah, no,
You know,
it really is
I mean,
more
we
than
wouldn't still
100.
be doing this. And the thing is we wouldn't still be doing this if the listeners, those of you out there that are downloading this show or streaming it, whichever way you're getting your fill of us, you know, talking Giants baseball. You know, we wouldn't still be doing it if people weren't clicking on, you know, the links. You know, maybe we would, and just nobody would be listening. But
No.
we appreciate that everybody's out there to keep us going. Everybody, you know, that you know, clicks on and reads and things like that. So it's really cool that we got to 100. It's like we should have a cake or something like that. You know, instead we
Did like cut it in 4 parts and send it out to different parts of the country.
No,
Yeah,
our
exactly.
promotion has been, you know, pretty weak on our part in terms of trying to get the word out. But you know, just looking at the numbers, I mean, it's pretty viral, and I'm very happy with it so far. And you know,
I mean, there's a reason we've stuck around, and it's not just because we enjoy this, although it is, but knowing that we're doing it for something makes it worth it. You know, like knowing that being able to talk about this is something that people enjoy listening to. It's one thing to just say, well, we want to do this for us, but to say we want to do this for us and for everybody else, it's really cool. And just like Eric said, it's really humbling.
it is.
Like it's very strange and odd to feel like people want to listen to what you have to say. And at the same time, like we just love this thing that we watch and that we enjoy so much that it's totally worth it and so much fun.
Yeah, I've actually run into 2 people here in Gilroy, California, in which I was coaching. You know, I coach softball for my daughter. Running into a
sort of
couple
a higher number of baseball fans at softball, I guess.
Exactly. Sure. But, you know, it's Gilroy, right? I don't know how many people in Gilroy listen to the TortureCast, maybe like 5 or 6. But the point being, I've actually run into 2 people that I, you know, through conversation found out that I was on the TortureCast, and they were like, "You've got to be kidding me. I've been listening to that podcast for a couple of years." So, I mean, that kind of stuff is really rewarding. I mean, it really is, because, you know, you think about, well, that's just Gilroy. What about the Bay Area? You know, we get thousands of downloads per episode. That's fine and all, but just the fact that we are reaching out to specific Giants fans. And so I hope you guys listening enjoy this. I mean, this is something that we want to ramp up this year. We're going to be having some more, you know, products coming out this year. We won't talk about them in this episode, but we've been talking about it behind the scenes. So we'll see what happens. But I'd say we move on to the next point here. And
I think we're ready to talk some Giants baseball.
Actual Giants baseball.
Let's stop talking about us, because this makes me uncomfortable.
Exactly.
Hey,
I have clothes on. I really do.
I had to put on pants today. You don't know how hard that is in Florida. I haven't had to wear pants in weeks.
So
it's really depressing, actually.
The final 25-man roster has been set. Are you guys surprised? I mean, anything that kind of just came out of left field for you guys?
On the roster? Not really. Like, I don't know. This team was well enough set with enough people that the roster kind of made sense going into it. And we were in the fortunate position. I'm going to go knock on wood here real quick. Knocking on wood. There we go. I was really surprised that we actually broke camp with a full squad this year.
Yeah.
We're not like limping our asses into the beginning of the season this time around. And that's the flip side of that, is that they've planned to have all of these people in place in advance, and then they have all these people in place still. So it's like the roster composition is based on what they had envisioned it being at the beginning of the year, and that's the surprising part. And there weren't a lot of spots that were really up for debate, because so many people cemented their spots last year, and we started filling in those other spots in the off season, which is a really weird and exciting feeling to go into the season and go, this makes sense.
No, it's true.
You know?
Aside from Guerin as a reliever and Trevor Brown, because Susak is injured, I mean, there's nothing that's like out of the ordinary. Nothing that's mind blowing. I mean, we don't have Hunter Pence breaking his wrist.
I almost wanted to be. I guess maybe Adrianza is maybe my one surprise of the roster.
But you knew he was going to come up at some point during the year anyway, right?
Right, he was out of options anyway, as I recall. Right.
So, apparently,
the sense was that something had happened there.
Apparently, he's like 20 pounds heavier or some shit like that this year, and he's just starting
muscle,
to make
baby.
More solid contact with the ball. Yeah, I mean, I guess I was raving about him years ago, and then the guy just went, and didn't do anything. I think the biggest thing with the roster is Guerin, only because he makes them have a 13-man pitching staff, and their bench is consistent of Tomlinson, Adrianza, and Blanco. And Brown, but
and Brown.
I
think the biggest reason for this though is the Giants have two off days through May 15th. Think about that.
Mm-hmm.
That's 6 weeks.
Yeah, that's not a lot.
6 weeks.
So
they have
basically
two
straight baseball
off days. So
really,
they need the pitching help. So it makes sense to me. Their bench is weaker. It really is. They have 4 bench players, like you said. That's it. That's all
pinch
hitting with the winning run on third base is Ari Adrianza. Yay! But that's what they have to go with. So hopefully the pitchers are going to, control the situation, not the batters.
Well, you're not kidding.
Okay.
I think the other thing too is the rotations. What? It's Bum, Cueto, Smarja, PV, Kane. I have a feeling that PV and Kane might get split up a little bit because Bum, Cueto, and Smarja can go deeper.
Yeah.
And we don't need to tax this bullpen every, you know what I mean, on back-to-back days.
Well, and that's the most important thing, too, is because we had so many times last year for a long period of time where the bullpen had to go day after day after day after day. Like, this could be huge, having the ability to have a few people that can go deeper into games. So I'm really excited for that. Just the idea of going, oh, wow, we've seen you on the mound for a while. Good. I'm not bored with this. Please pitch into the 8th inning. I am fine with that.
Exactly. And speaking of spring training,
sadly,
obviously the Giants didn't have the best record this year, 13-20. Who really cares? The pitching was a really big concern. I don't have the stats in front of me, but I know as of like a week ago, they have the 29th highest ERA out of 30 clubs for starting pitchers. But that being said, you have Smarja and Cueto and Kane and Peavy having outstanding starts in their last, start tuning up for
They're starting to kind of heat up and tune up, yeah.
And so my question to you guys, and this is my belief. With these guys, these veterans, these guys that have a long track record, Bumgarner, Cueto, Kane, Peavy, Smarja, it really doesn't matter what their spring training record is because they're really just fooling around, trying new angles, trying new pitches, just doing whatever they can to kind of, figure out if they have something new for their arsenal. But when it comes to opening day, and of course their last starts, they kind of, focus, I guess you would say, to try and get to season, readiness.
Are you making air quotes as you say these words?
Oh my gosh, under the desk.
Because it sounds like you're using air quotes. So I just want to make sure.
I'm using air quotes. There.
Okay.
Got it.
Right,
got the visual.
Yep,
got the visual.
Totally got it.
Got it.
Keep going.
No, seriously, but it just seems to me that, these veterans, this is what they do. They're not trying to make the team. They're just trying to fool around, just, hey, try this, try that, whatever. This didn't work, this worked. And, guys like Tim Lincecum and Bumgarner, the others in the past have had horrible spring ERAs, and obviously they're fine for the season. So, me, myself, I'm not too worried about it, even though they had like the second or third highest ERA of all starters. But
it's spring training.
That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen for the regular season. So,
no.
No one's worried about this, right?
Oh no, your point was dead on, Chad. It's a bunch of veterans that know what the hell they're doing. And they're just looking for pitches. Like I remember Bumgarner talked about his second to last start was the first time he found one of his pitches, and so he just tried to work on that, and he didn't really worry about the runners and stuff that had been on and that time, But
tuning up works. Yeah, totally.
A veteran club can do that though, and it's nice that we have a team like that because Ben, you said it. The team was set pretty much. Like Kelby locked down his backup job last year, and so did Adrianza. We knew Blanco had the backup job, and Span, takes over in center now. So it's a veteran roster that was set anyways. I don't think anything they do in spring training matters. I really
these aren't guys that are fighting for a job. They're guys that are just trying to find their swing and get things together. And if they look absolutely rotten in the sense that their mechanics are completely off, maybe we're going to be concerned going into the season. But if it's like everybody's just kind of tuning up as they go along, then it's okay. Like they're getting it together, they're working on it, they're trying to figure out what they're doing. It's not a case of like I have to be perfect in order to make the team, unless you're maybe like Adrianza or clearly Guerin did a heck of a job getting in. But like,
yeah,
when you don't have to fight for a spot, you approach it completely differently. And we're not used to having nobody on the team that's really had to fight for a slot. But I mean, there were a couple of guys that wanted to show off. Kyle Blanks did a really nice job early on in the season. Christian Arroyo looked really good, but there just wasn't room for those guys. So they were trying to fight to be remembered to potentially coming up later. Everybody on the team, they're just kind of like, I just want to get back into the swing of things. I just need to kind of warm back up. Let me get on the mound and throw a bit. Let me go ahead and throw like nothing but sliders this entire inning so I can make sure I have the feel for that pitch. Yep. And if I get like knocked around, doesn't really matter because I just want to find my slider. It's one step over from the minor league thing of like, we're going to go ahead and have you start on second base every single inning because we want you to practice your base running. Like it's like one step removed from that, saying like these are spring training games and they quote unquote count for like something. So I'm just going to work on whatever I have to work on.
Yeah. So the Giants, they finished this spring 13-20, which wasn't the worst, wasn't the best.
There.
Woohoo! Mediocre.
The last time that we actually won the league, I think we did pretty badly in this season. So
well,
like
last year,
good show,
2015, 13-21 was actually a half game worse. 2014, 17-12. 2013, their worst season since 2008. They were 16-15. I mean, look, we all know spring training has nothing to do with the regular season. So let's just throw it out. It's all good.
Means nothing. Yeah, spring training happened, guys. It was a thing.
All right, so
it's done now.
It was practice.
Speaking of predictions, let's look at our Twitter poll. How many wins for the Giants this year? And so we put this out on Twitter today, and it's pretty promising. So let's just hope that these guys know what they're talking about. But right now we have 61% of our tweeters, our followers, saying that they're going to win 90 or more. That's pretty impressive. 24% saying 86 to 89. That's already at 89%. So, or close. 85%. Sorry, 85%.
85, yeah.
So the remaining 15% is 12% saying 82 to 85 and 3% saying 81 or less. So
wait. What are you thinking?
Optimistic to me.
The 3%. What are you thinking? They're not going to be a losing team this year.
Yeah, most likely not.
Let's knock on wood again real quickly.
I mean, really, 81. Maybe you're seeing something we're not seeing. 81 or less. I'm sorry if that's
because
you.
of terrible spring training, Eric.
Yeah,
why they were 13-20.
Please, if you are one of the 3%, let me know why you think that the Giants are going to win less than 81 games.
Well, the
Please,
3% is made up entirely of KNBR callers.
Well, I mean, that's fine. Bring it. So tweet me, message us something. Let me know because that's
let's get. If you voted in that
man.
poll, tell us what it is that made you think that. We'd love to hear it from everybody, especially from that 3%. But we'd love to hear from everybody. Like, why did you think that?
I mean, this Giants team's going to win at least 85 games, at least. And
what you're trying to say is they're going to be over 500 for sure. Come on, people.
Yes.
So, okay. So Willie, I thought would be here by now, but he's obviously not. We're going to have to get his prediction post-haste. But so here we go. We've had this question in our season preview the last 4 years. And, Eric, you were part of this last year. Ben, you've been a part of this for the last 4 years. This is something that we kind of put a little credence into. So, Ben, what do you think? What's your prediction for a number of wins this year?
Oh God, I hate it when you make me do this.
Every year.
This team has been pretty solid, but it's starting to be a little bit more competitive in the West lately. Even though it does feel a little bit like the Dodgers have kind of assembled a 2015 Giants roster. We got one really good guy, and then we'll sort of piecemeal the rest and hope that it works. But still, I feel like, honestly, I'm going to regret this. I'm going to go 86 in first place. I think it's going to be competitive, but I don't think that we're necessarily a ton better than other divisions, and I don't know if we're so much better than the other teams that we shoot ahead. I think that it's close. I think that we end up first. I think that the Dodgers kind of sneak in a little bit, or maybe even the Padres, as much as it's weird to say that.
Wow.
Any of these teams could, is the weird thing, except maybe the Rockies. The Rockies are still pretty bad.
Yeah. They're pretty bad.
But the D-backs have done some work here and there, and have become kind of one of those like Rocky style last minute threats. So, yeah, let's run with that.
86 wins, first place.
I'm going to go with 86 in first place.
All right,
please be close, Self. Please be close.
No, I'm going to continue that. So, Eric, you can wait for a bit. So I'll take the second bullet. So yeah, I'm going to feed off of that for a little bit because I was thinking the same thing. Not 86, but I was thinking that the West, because it looks pretty competitive this year. We got the Diamondbacks, we got the Dodgers, we got the Giants. You know, Padres, I'm not so sure about. Obviously, the Rockies stink. I think those three teams are going to even out some of the wins. I think they're going to lower the win total for the winner of the West. So I don't think it's going to take 93, 94, 95 wins to win the West this year. So my prediction, and, you know, I've been pretty good the last 3 out of the 4 years that we've done this. So I have the notes here.
Wait, no, don't boast. I'll do it.
Okay.
Where'd it go?
Eric's going to say it for me.
Don't boast. I'll do it.
Chad, you have to go last now.
Yeah, no.
That's like the rule now.
Let him pick. No, I'll just give the little drum roll lead up now. Chad has nailed 3 of the last 4 years, and I don't mean like he's nailed the place they finished in the division or like he's been close. He has nailed the exact number of wins 3 of the last 4 years, and
yeah.
The only year he didn't nail it. The only year he didn't nail it is also the lowest total he's chosen over the last 4 years. So Chad already had an idea that the 2013.
Chad is not only an optimist. Chad is a very correct optimist.
So in 2012, Chad said they'd win 92, and they did. In 2013, Chad said 82. He had a feeling something wasn't quite right. And they ended up winning 76 games, their only losing season from 2009 to 2015. In 14, he predicted 88 wins. I'm not sure if he predicted the World Series title because his research does not have it. And in 2015, Chad, last year, picked it dead on that they'd be 84 and 84. And I believe you picked second place as well.
Yes, I did. Yeah, so it's been... for how bad I am at rotisserie baseball and football, I've been pretty good about predicting the Giants' wins.
Yep. This is Chad's jewel. So that's all remember. When they win like 10 more, 15 more
Chad's
games.
Strong point, yeah.
Yeah, and so I was re-listening to last year's season preview, and I was recanting about how I was exactly right 2 of the past 3 years. Now it's 3 out of 4, of course. And Willie was saying, well, even a monkey or even an octopus can choose the World Cup winner. So
that's right.
Basically, screw you. Right. You know what? No. I've predicted 3 years out of 4 the exact win total. Okay? That is better than any octopus. Give me your 8 arms. I will cut them off. I'm sorry. It ain't going to happen. So I have to ask, great oracle of the, no pun intended, Dubs fans, great oracle of the Giants. So what are they going to do this year? All right, because the National League West is a little bit better this year, I would say, with Greinke, with the Diamondbacks, and Dodgers are going to still be good. The Giants improving their rotation. I think they're going to cannibalize a few wins off of one another. So I don't think it's going to take 92, 93 wins to win the West. So I think this year, being an even year, and by the way, if you've noticed, every single one of my predictions over the last 5 years has been an even number of wins. Every single result has been an even number of wins. So I am going, and no, just kidding. An even number of wins. I'm going 90. 90 and winning the West because I think that's going to be enough. 90.
Nice round number 90. So 90 and 72 is enough to win the West, huh?
I think so. I think if it was last year, no. But this year, yeah. Gonna do it.
All right. Let's mark it down. Apparently the Giants are going to win 90 games this year. We can shut down the podcast now. We'll see you all.
So we're already set, yeah. Like, I guess we don't
done.
need to bother with that now.
When the playoffs start, we'll get back.
Well, that was easy, guys. Let's move on to...
Yep. All right, thanks, guys.
Ice cream?
All right. Ice cream. I'll take that.
I also do like ice cream, yeah.
I'll take the ice cream. You distracted me. All right, so I haven't put my wins out there. I was the positive guy last year. I was the guy that said 92 wins. They're going to win the West. They're going to win the. They're going to buck the even year trend. I think I predicted them to win it all last year. I think I went that far, and I'm not gonna go that far right now because I'm just gonna talk division and stuff like that. But I'm picking the Giants to win more than both of you. I think that it is going to take something like 94 wins to win the division, and I think the Giants will win 94.
I'll agree to that.
94.
We've established that my predictions are usually 94. Pretty terrible. So
yeah, no, I say 94. Here's my thought process. This is the National League, and I have a feeling it's going to be really top-heavy this year. Chad, you and I talked about this with the odds on the last podcast. It's really top-heavy. In the West, you've got the Giants, the Dodgers, and the Diamondbacks. And frankly, I think the D-backs are better than the Dodgers. I think they're going to get in the wild card game.
I would actually agree, yeah.
And then in the Central, you've got the Pirates, the Cardinals, and the Cubs. And in the East, you've got the Nationals and the Mets. And that's it. That's everybody in the National League that's good. The Phillies suck. The Braves suck. The Padres, the Rockies, the Brewers, who am I missing in the Central? Brewers and let's see, I got Cardinals. Pirates, I'm missing somebody in the Central.
Brewers.
Somebody who sucks in the Central. Reds and
Reds, yeah.
Reds and stink. So as much as I get what you're talking about, Chad, with the like kind of eating each other alive between like the Dodgers, D-backs, and Giants, I kind of think they're all going to get. Yeah, I think they're going to get so fat on these other teams that I think that like all the National League top tier teams are going to have inflated win totals again this season. So I think
you make me want to change my answer, but I feel like now that I've said it, I can't. So I'm just gonna sit on it.
No, don't let me persuade you. You know, I mean, I'm a good lawyer.
Yeah, but that's but you make a very good point about the rest of the league because I was really thinking about the health of the division based on how slanted the schedule goes towards. So I mean that's really more what I would lead with. I'll just stick it.
They should take 4 or 6 from Philly, Atlanta. You know what I mean? All those teams that are just like mailing it in this year for some reason. And I think like all teams, I think the Cubs are going to win like maybe 105, 110 games this year. I'm not even kidding.
Wow.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
all right.
Talk.
That's kind of I know. I'm not saying the Cubs. Are
whatever.
Win the
I'll
World
take
Series.
it. Sure, why not? Who am I to argue? I want that to happen, right? So I mean,
that'd be really cool.
I'd be happy if it did. So I'm not complaining. Sure, yeah, let's win 110 games, boys. Yeah, sounds great.
The World Series, the short series always matters, and Bruce Bochy and the
right.
Giants in there.
Yeah.
Well, and you remember one particular year where we won 103 games, and
didn't get anything. What the Mariners won like 119 or something like
right.
that.
116. 116. Yeah, it was so funny. I was just talking about it the other day, and a Roger Clemens start in like Game 2 or something shifted that series, and it was over. And the team that won 100, and the team that won 116, it didn't matter if they couldn't win 4 and 7.
Yeah.
So I think the Cubs are going to be like that this year, but the Giants and their 94 wins. I think this is. I think the Giants are like a 2012 version of the Giants, and I thought that was their strongest team among the 3. I think they're at that strength again. I think top to bottom, the roster. Forget about not having depth because they actually kind of have it with Parker and Williamson down on the farm. They can come up and play outfield positions. and do things like that. I think this team's as good as like 2012 was. And 2012, they showed, like in the Detroit series, how good they really are. Yeah. So 94 wins, first place. I don't think the Dodgers make the playoffs either. I think the Diamondbacks do.
All right, lock it in. Hopefully we get Willie's prediction here soon. But so next we have listener questions, and we have one from Cameron Bell at SOSOLO, so 26. What is that?
Oh, solo?
So low 26, I guess. For the 100th show, will Cueto outshine Bumgarner and actually be the number one? I think no, but would love to hear your answer. Thanks. So, for the entire season, you guys think that Cueto's going to outshine Bumgarner?
I'm going to jump in with a quick no, because I picked Bumgarner to win the Cy Young.
Well, when you put it that way. I also would go ahead and say no, although it really depends on how much Bumgarner kind of hits the ground running. Just because there's always that chance that Bumgarner's going to take a little while to kind of warm up some things. But I don't think over the entire season no. I think that there's a chance that at times Cueto is going to maybe take like a 2-week span of outshining Bumgarner. But if you look at the entire season as a whole at the end, I think that what we look at as a potential rotation now is going to be pretty solid.
Yeah, no, I would say no. Bumgarner's too consistent. Cueto's been amazing, but he might be close to Bum, but I don't think he's going to outshine him. No.
Here's my one quick analogy with Bum. Bum seems like, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but Bum seems like he could have a great season because it's like when a pitcher doesn't have a feel for his stuff in the bullpen and then it goes out on the mound and suddenly kills it.
It's like bad rehearsal, good show.
Right. I have a feeling Bum's going to have that kind of a year. I really do. I don't think Kershaw is going to be as strong this year without having Greinke as a backup because it's basically Kershaw and spare parts over there. So I don't think he is going to be lifted to a higher level. And I think Bum is going to be lifted to a higher level because of Cueto and because of Smarsha being in the clubhouse. So I Cueto won't outshine Bumgarner. I think he's going to push him to be better.
Nice. That's a good point. I didn't think about that.
I feel like at the end of all these predictions, I'm going to just have listed mine and then just hope for all of Eric's. If anybody says, "What did you predict?" I'll be like, "I don't care. Whatever Eric said, that's what I want for the season. Done. That's it."
I like this. Yes, I like this result.
I'm sunshine and roses right now. What can I say?
A little bit. I'm enjoying it.
So, Eric, you had another question from Reddit?
Yeah, I put this thing out on Reddit as well. Reddit has been our friends, and we've had a little cross things going at times. And somebody, I'm going to say this name. I'm going to say it once. I'm going to try not to laugh because I really appreciate the question, and I'm not laughing at your name, buddy. But Finger Blaster 99 wanted to know.
I don't.
Yeah. He wanted to know one thing. He said he's wanted to see is that situation when the Giants are deep in extras and all their pitchers are used up and a position player is called on to finish the game. Who do we reckon that player would be on the roster? And then he's got a follow-up question, and I'll go to the follow-up because it's a separate category almost. So who would be the emergency pitcher on the roster right now? Who do you guys think?
Wait, run the one by me one more time.
Who would be the emergency pitcher on the roster right now?
Emergency pitcher. It's got to be Heston, right?
No.
Oh, you mean the position player emergency pitcher?
Yeah, Brandon Belt.
Oh.
Brandon Belt.
No, everyone wants it to be Brandon Belt. I actually don't know if it's
Brandon
Belt. Like, everyone wants it to be Brandon Belt, but I think it's somebody who isn't a common starter. Without having seen him throw, for some reason, my first guess is actually Kelby Tomlinson.
Oh my God, that's where my finger is. Not in.
I do what I can.
Tell me. Or
Kelby can do everything, and in glasses. But I mean, that would be my first thought on that one. I'll let somebody else tackle the first question for starters, but I feel more strongly about the emergency pitcher than anything else, apparently.
Well, I didn't ask the second question yet because he asked about emergency catchers for the second question.
Oh, and the emergency. Oh, okay. Ooh.
I know, right?
Ooh.
He says the second question, I'll read it all, is also, I know in seasons past, guys like Sandoval or Arias were considered emergency catchers. And yes, I did air
Right.
quotes as I read his quotes for the team. Who would that be on this roster? First of all, thank you, Finger Blaster. I really appreciate the question.
Yeah.
So, I mean, who would be the catcher? I mean, I agree with you. Kelby is a good choice for pitcher. What do you think, Chad? Think it's just Belt, or do you think somebody like Kelby or even Adrianza would be the one to do it?
Ooh, man, that's a rough one. Yeah, catcher.
Yeah, really.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, someone middle infielder who has a good arm, I guess. Not Tomlinson, I don't think. I would say Duffy. Duffy is like my choice for backup, emergency catcher. Yeah, for sure.
What about emergency pitcher?
Well, I already said Belt.
Oh, okay, you did.
Yeah.
I rolled right through that. I'm sorry, Finger Blaster distracted me. I just can't believe I said that out loud.
Oh boy.
It's a great name, it is. But it's funny because you never think about that when the Giants get down in that situation. We don't have weird baseball with the Giants too often. Like, can you guys think of any time
we have weird baseball for the other teams more often.
Yeah, I mean, can you think of a time Bochy's ever like pitched? I can't think of a player that's pitched under Bochy that's not a pitcher.
I feel like we've had it happen at least once in the last couple of years, but it's really rare. And it's because he's such a good bullpen manager. It's not often that we really need to. But God, emergency catcher. I feel like for an emergency catcher, you rotate somebody. I feel like if you can't rotate somebody who's already on the field, then probably Adrianza. Yeah. Out of anybody, I feel like of who's on the bench, I feel like Adrianza is probably the slickest, like fielding wise. Although I feel like I haven't gotten to compare him with Kelby a lot. But Adrianza is a pretty strong defender at times. I feel like if anybody's going to be able to do it, it'd be him getting signals from the dugout. So
yeah, that's true. Wow, let's just hope it never gets to this. Let's hope.
Yeah,
I mean, weird baseball. This is one prediction
I don't want to find out if we're right. Can we not?
Yeah, weird baseball's fun and all, but I mean, we don't want to see any of these random people end up pitching or catching or things like that. As long as the Giants stay healthy.
I enjoy weird baseball questions, but weird baseball is way more fun when you're watching Chris Davis destroy emergency pitching for the Orioles than when you have to watch your own team do it and nearly throw up.
I mean, we didn't know what was going to happen. I mean, we had weird baseball in the playoffs. That Nationals game 2 will never go away. All right, so I think that's what we have for questions. I know I got that off of Reddit. What was his name? And then thank you, Cameron, on Twitter. Chad, did you track down any others on there, or is that all we had?
No, that's all we have right now. But I wanted to focus on a new segment that you've brought to the blog called Friday 5. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Oh, yeah, I can. I'm starting a new thing, trying to get us...
I can, but I don't want to, and...
Well, no. We generally record at the beginning of the week, and I try to write on the blog, and, sometimes life gets in the way, so by having a regular weekly...
I can't talk about that. You're doing more than I am, so carry on. You do a nice job when you're writing, so...
Yeah, well, I win, and so I'm trying to make this something that keeps me going every week. So I'm going to do a Friday 5 where it's a countdown of pretty much it's 5 things that either have affected the Giants during the week, it kind of preps you for the weekend ahead and the series that they're going to face. Like, I kind of broke it down, and anybody that you go to the website and you can read this past Friday's 5. But generally, like, it'll be broken down. Like, every week I'll have, number 1 will be what's ahead, and I'll make sure to look at a game or a player or a matchup that's big for the series that weekend. Number 2 will be anything exciting since Monday, because, we're recording Monday. So by Friday, something has generally happened. Who knows? Maybe somebody broke a hand or something like that. Number 3, I'm always going to check in. This week I checked in on Pablo Sandoval. I'm always going to check in on an ex-Giant or how the NL West is doing. And I decided to check in on Pablo Sandoval this week because I don't know if you guys heard, but he lost his starting job.
Yeah.
And he will not be starting for the Boston Red Sox when the season opens.
Right.
Yeah, right. I mean, did they do? All right, quick sidebar. Did we dodge a bullet or what? Like,
I don't know if he was
right.
gonna...
It's weird feeling like maybe we like missed something important there.
Yeah, I don't know if he would have ended up as bad here as he has in Boston. I just don't know. So, whatever.
It's like he wanted to be the man in Boston, and now the guy's on the bench. It's unbelievable. So, anyways, I'll always check in on an ex-Giant. At some point we'll see how Travis is doing, how Morris is doing, things like that. For the 4th thing,
I'm looking forward to those. Bogey.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Another one. For the 4th one, I'm going to have a quote of the week, maybe the best quote out of the Giants clubhouse, maybe the best quote I found somewhere. And then number 5 will, wrap up links and such so everybody can catch up on like what the best stories that we came across and stuff during the week. So the Friday 5 should be a regular thing. Will be a regular thing for the 2016 season to just add a little bit to TortureCast. So
no, that's awesome.
Check that out.
Thank you so much for doing that.
Yeah.
So hopefully
it's really awesome, and it's a great set of things to look at.
No, definitely.
Sorry.
Yeah,
carry on.
All right, so
Friday and 5 elimination. Why not, right?
No, why not? Jeez. So coming up, we have the Giants opening up tomorrow. They have a 3-game series in Milwaukee, and then they're coming home for 4 against the vaunted, hated Dodgers. So
boo hiss, roar,
boo hiss. So look,
boo hiss.
We're gonna try and record every Monday night. That's our plan. So by the time we record episode 101, Giants are going to be 7 games into the season. Hopefully 7-0. If not, maybe 6-1. I mean, anything less is going to be unacceptable, right?
Right.
Absolutely. I'll stop watching if they don't go 6-1 at the least.
Right.
No, look, well, there was a snort in there. I heard a snort.
That one wasn't me, honest.
Okay.
Maybe.
Oh, good. I thought it was me.
All right. So
I was gonna say I'm just waiting for them to go 5-2, and then just like a public tweet that just Eric just goes, "Nope, I'm done with this team."
Yeah, I'm gonna turn it off. I'm done watching this team. I can't even. If they can't be like the Warriors, I can't even. Forget this. They lost the game at home. Forget it. I can't deal with this anymore.
So, Eric, you wanted to ask this question. Let's do this real quick. We don't need numbers, right? We don't need numbers. But let's just ping this, amongst the 3 of us. Most home runs, lowest ERA, and best batting average on the team. Okay, most home runs, Eric.
Most home runs, Brandon Crawford.
I'm going Buster Posey. What about you, Ben?
Wait. Sorry, I had something in my other ear for a second. Run that by me one more time.
Most home runs on the team. Who?
Oh, okay.
Don't need a number.
Yeah. I'm going to go 100 Pence, actually.
100 Pence. Okay. How about lowest ERA for you, Ben?
That's starters.
Starters, I guess, right? Yeah.
Yeah, starters. All right, I'll say lowest ERA is Bumgarner because you heard me earlier. I think Bum's going to win the Cy.
Wait, okay, yeah, it's okay for not including relievers, which would make sense because that'd be weird and cheating.
Yeah.
It's because if a reliever has an ERA of 3, they're fired. So
this is basically a Bum Cueto quest.
Yep,
it really is. I actually am probably going to go Bumgarner on that, just because I have more confidence with the way that Bumgarner has pitched than I do with Cueto. Even though Cueto has every chance of being excellent, I won't be surprised if it's Cueto. Because remember, the best pitcher is not always defined by the lowest ERA.
No,
as we've seen with this team before. Certainly not the most dominant one, but I mean, how low was it? Chris Heston that just had like the tiny ERA for like weeks?
Yep.
But I'm going to go ahead and say Bumgarner as well, I think.
I love Bum. I kind of do think he's going to get it, but I'm going to go Cueto because I think he's the wild card. I'm going to see what's going to happen this year, so it'll be fun.
God, wouldn't it be something if he's?
That's a good thing, right?
I mean,
that's a good thing if that's what happens. Okay, so
that would be fantastic.
Best batting average, I'm going to go with Brandon Belt. Okay, what about you, Eric?
Huh. Okay.
Best batting average, I'm going to go with Joe Panic. Mm-hmm. I think he's the best pure hitter on the team.
For best batting average. Oof. Yeah, as much as like my gut wants to say Posey, I don't actually think that that's true, to be honest. I actually would also lean Joe Panic just because Joe is such a strong contact hitter.
Yeah.
That I think that Posey is going to have gaudier stats, but I think that Panic is going to quietly amass a really strong
it's just
batting season without being a power hitter.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, I love Joe Panic. If everybody can remember last year when he got injured, every day I tweeted, "Miss Joe Panic," because that guy, he's just like he's the quintessential makes the engine go type thing. I think.
Yeah, he's that guy, by and far. I would agree.
No, he's a great guy. We had, we got to interview him on Media Day. First people, actually, we got right in there, and it was fantastic. He really is a genuine person, and his back, he actually fractured a vertebrae, so he didn't reveal it during that interview, but it was revealed later. But apparently everything's good to go, so hopefully, that's not an issue anymore. But he's a stand-up guy. Hopefully that that homegrown infield is going to go ahead and do well for the Giants this year. But
even year, baby. Like, I don't care how it sounds. Let's do it. I mean, the team is
you're
good.
the first
They're
person
ready.
to say it this podcast, but this is an even year. 2016.
It's going to get old. And I know it's going to get old. And I know I really do. And we can't really rest on the even year. But the Giants are really a solid team this year. The Giants and the Cubs look to be the two best teams in the National League. They seem to be primed. They made the right moves. They seem to be the two best, most talented teams on paper this year. No. I think there's a really good chance for a lot of good things this season.
Now Vegas has the Giants right up at the top with the Cubs and the others, so that's not not going to be
relatively
surprising.
reassuring, depending on what kind of weight you put in betting. But they pay a lot of attention to make money, so I feel good about that.
They make their money exactly. They don't have the
really.
They don't have
by
the
trying
Rockies
to do the things that we just
World
did, but with
Series.
actual stakes.
Exactly. So. All right, so this is going to do it for episode 152, but we're going to call it 100.
I want to give a shout out real quick. I want to give a shout out to Jen Cosgriff real quick because I forgot her birthday, and I'm sorry, TFF. So I just wanted you to know, Jen. I'm sorry about that.
How could you?
We love you here. We would love you here at TortureCast. That was totally my bad. So TFF, I'm sorry. So go ahead, Jen.
We're gonna have Jen on many episodes this year.
Oh yeah, totally. But I missed it. I forgot it. I know she's gonna listen because she loves us as much as we love her.
Mostly because we need.
I had to let her know. I'm sorry, Mr.
Or because we nag her and ask her to, but still good.
It's all good.
But yes, absolutely. Happy birthday, friend of the podcast, and a wonderful baseball writer and a sports writer and Pac-12 writer, Jen Cosgriff. Absolutely.
Great person, Jen. Thank you. All right, so you can follow us at TortureCast. You can also like us on Facebook and YouTube. Find us there. You can follow us individually, myself at ChadK21, Ben at Fried Duck, Eric at 2 Out Hits. That's with the number 2. And for the absent Willie Dills, we're going to have to get his predictions because he was supposed to be here and he's not, so we're going to give him a lot of shit for this, but that's okay.
Curses.
You can follow him at Willie Dills. Yeah, so here it is, episode 100. The Giants play tomorrow at 11 a.m. I'm going to be here, quote, working from home.
It's back.
I love
Finally
it when my
back.
telecommute days line up with opening day because it's Monday. It's a good thing. It's a good thing.
Baseball and coffee, baby.
Yeah, not a bad thing. So look for us at TortureCast because we're going to be tweeting a hell of a lot. Same with Eric at 2 Out Hits. Ben, you're probably going to be working, aren't you?
Tomorrow? Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
I will be working because
I will
the game's
be
in the afternoon. And...
As Eric pointed out, air quote, working tomorrow. But I'll be very active on Twitter.
I now have a job where I get to sit at a desk in the back of a retail job, so I'll be listening in for bits of it. I just won't get to actually watch extensively.
Oh, good.
But I'm going to try and get to listen in. I remember you guys might remember last year I made an attempt at trying to score every game.
Yes. Oh my god.
By hand. That's not happening this year because I recently got a promotion at my job. I'm doing a new position now, which is awesome. But me trying to do that and also do the other stuff I've been working on lately, and also try to score games by hand, I would probably end up dead, and then I couldn't be on the show anymore, and that's way less fun.
No.
So maybe next season, if things settle, we'll see. I like your advice on this. I'm going to run with it. Thanks, Eric. It's a good plan. I really like it a lot.
Yeah,
I'm with it.
Don't be dead.
Only if you got paid for it. Yeah,
all right.
Exactly.
Because you insisted, I'm all in on this now. Because if it's good enough for Eric, it's good enough for me.
All right. Well, for Ben and for Eric and for the absent Willie, my name is Chad, and you've listened to episode 100 of the TortureCast. Catch us next week when we talk about the Giants' 7-0 week in episode 101. We'll catch you next time. This is the TortureCast. Boom.
A big thank you to everybody for listening to the TortureCast, the podcast by and for fans of the San Francisco Giants. Follow us on Twitter at TortureCast. You can also like us on Facebook or check out our blog at TortureCast.com. I also want to say thank you to Ashcon and Bailey for letting us use their song Feeling Like a Giant for our intro. For Ben Lee and Chad King, my name is Willie Dills saying, we'll see you next time.